Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to our channel and thanks for logging on. Today we're discussing the Audemars Piguet Royal Oak Offshore Alinghi Polaris chronograph, reference 26040ST in stainless steel. You can see this 2005 limited edition of 2,000 pieces and purchase it on our website. Subscribe to our YouTube channel if you enjoy these videos, and please click on the card in the upper right hand corner of the screen at any time during this video to see our full sales listing for this watch, with additional accessories included in the sale, high-resolution images for your desktop, and naturally complete pricing details for this Audemars Piguet Royal Oak Offshore Alinghi Polaris chronograph. The watch on my wrist, the 26040ST, is one of the best of the Royal Oak Offshore limited editions, partly because it's a sporting chronograph dedicated to a sporting cause and not an ambassador-sponsored piece. This is a watch that is dedicated to a sport where timekeeping actually matters, and highly technical and specialized timekeepers matter most. The triumph of this watch is that it's simultaneously an Audemars Piguet with all the fit, finish, and quality of materials that entails, a regatta timer perfectly suited to its intended purpose, and a general use sports chronograph that is still useful outside the realm of regatta style countdowns. So the watch on my wrist is part of the Royal Oak Offshore 42mm family. So 42mm across the round of the case, not including the crown for the internal rotating bezel, the crown guards, or the chronograph pushers. It does wear larger than 42, as these Royal Oaks and Royal Oak Offshores are wont to do. Across the wrist, the lug-to-lug dimension is a robust 54mm, but it spans to almost 58 if you were to take the solid plots that extend the case. These intermediate links that join the strap to the case, they don't have downward flexibility. So if I pull the watch open on my wrist, and you can see it has a deployant clasp, and the deployant clasp, of course, to prevent you from dropping while donning or removing, you can't pull the strap in completely. It does want to flare a little bit. It will fight you a bit. For that reason, I think that this watch is best worn on wrists no smaller than 14.5 centimeters in circumference, but as you saw before, because I did want to prove the point, you can easily put this watch on a 16 centimeter wrist and it will sit securely with plenty of clearance on both sides, physically planted and stylish. As long as you like the big look, this watch will work on a wrist as small as 14.5 centimeters. And a big reason for that is the diver style strap rather than the tough and inflexible hornback alligator leather commonly specified on these watches. Now there's a fringe benefit to the rubber strap, which is that, like a bracelet offshore, you don't have to worry about swapping straps before you avail yourself of the 100-meter water resistance. You still get that, you just don't have to worry about soaking your leather. Now popping the strap open, you can see that it has channels to relieve a little bit of material, making it more flexible, and also to give it character lines to break up that mass of otherwise undifferentiated rubber. Now it is a cut rather than injection molded strap, so small details like the continuation of the case flank bezel literally extend unbroken into the strap. It's beautifully detailed, paired with a polished AP logo style deployant clasp for security. You'll note that the case back features the name of the watch, the Royal Oak Offshore Alinghi Polaris, also the limited edition number. You can see it is a mid-F series. This watch was released in 2005, this edition was. You can see the caseback bolts, which do not join the bezel to the caseback, but rather join the caseback to the bottom of the case. The bolts conjoining the watch to the bezel are actually internal to the case. And finally, you'll note the compass rose, as this is a nautically themed special edition. The case is simple, but beautifully finished. The crease lines of the bezel continuing unbroken into the case flank and into the case back, satin finish applied manually along with the polish of the bevel which thins at the mid case and then flares at the lug, the bezel itself with its satin finish tops, slightly recessed and polished hexagonal steel bezel bolts, yes, steel on the offshore, gold on the Royal Oaks, the fully expressed gasket that acts as a structural and aesthetic component of the watch, fully expressed, whereas it was a hairline sliver on the original Royal Oak. You get the same level of hand-laid metal finish that you would get on an Audemars Piguet dress watch or a traditional Royal Oak, but you get it with the big, boisterous, and exuberant style of the watch you see here. Now, it's important to note that the dial is highly specialized, but also functional in a general sense. Stay tuned, there will be a loom shot at the end of the video, but you can see that the bezel is both a compass style, as north, east, south, and west are represented. You can actually line it up in the light of day with the sun and the hour hand to navigate, so it can actually help you to find north. But because it's calibrated up to 60, you can also use it as you would a conventional dive-style bezel. Since it's locked down when the crown is screwed down, it can function as a true dive watch, and it does have a constant seconds indicator at 3 o'clock. So yes, the watch is, in a sense, one of the first dive-style Royal Oaks. Now, the rotating bezel slopes down to a dial base featuring a classic sporting tritone. You can see it has the mega tapisserie hobnail pattern at center, but a flat hour track that better to read the numerals as well as provide minimal obstruction to the registers. Constant seconds, chronograph hours up to 6, and then you have chronograph minutes up to 20 at 9 o'clock. So keep in mind, you do have chronograph minutes and hours. So the watch is designed principally to measure spans of time between 1 minute and 10 minutes. Nevertheless, it can function as a conventional chronograph. Now, the dial is a gloss black base, so it is reactive in the light, and what you're looking at is an unusual calibration of 1 to 10 minutes around the outer circumference of the hour track. There is a red radial minutes hand, so you can easily read the minutes, and then there is a small aperture just above the hands and just below the Audemars Piguet script that will turn red in the final minute of the countdown. So you have this radial 10-minute scale that allows you to more easily read off the time remaining before the start of a match within a regatta. Now, what the watch also has that's uncommon among offshores is a flyback chronograph functionality, so you can reset and restart everything with the trigger at 4 o'clock rather than having to start, stop, and reset in the conventional sequence. So this one's aesthetically and mechanically quite distinct, and you can see that red shock of the final minute being indicated when the watch is reset to 0. Now, the timepiece does have 100-meter water resistance thanks to the screw-down crown, and as you can see, the strap held on firmly by screws rather than spring bars. This is one securely assembled watch. What's inside is a combination of Audemars Piguet, Jaeger-LeCoultre, and Dubois de Praz. It is an Audemars Piguet modified Jaeger-LeCoultre caliber 896 automatic with efficient unidirectional winding, a free-sprung balance, and ceramic rotor bearings. It beats away at 28,800 vibrations per hour, and it has a 38-hour power reserve. The watch also features hacking or stop seconds. Purists rejoice, there is no date on the watch, so if you take another look at the dial, you will note there is no date. The timepiece features a Dubois de Praz vertical clutch chronograph module that also includes the flyback functionality. This is one tough, versatile, handsome, and truly special Audemars Piguet special edition. Rather than being associated with some sundry F1 driver, and it does seem like everyone who ever piloted an F1 car got a Royal Oak offshore during the 2000s under his own name, this is completely different. This is a usable watch, whether you're a professional sailor or you simply race your sailboat from the comfort of your armchair in the vast expanses of the sea of your own mind. This is a watch that is simply a lot of fun, one of the best takes on the Royal Oak offshore, and one of the best regatta timers ever offered. You can see this limited edition of 2000 and purchase it on our website. Audemars Piguet Royal Oak Offshore Alinghi Polaris chronograph. Note the fully loomed AP logo at 12 o'clock, as well as the luminescent radial minutes hand for the regatta timer function. See it by the light of day and own it on our website.